I'm on the side of the motorway. I'm going to show you. And I've had to come out because one of our lorries, he's been to pick a skip up and he's got a puncture. So we've come out to fix it. But I'm going to talk to you about, basically, is it worth having your own tyre fitter or your own tyre man? And I'm going to finish the video back in the office because this shit is too noisy. You won't be able to hear now, all right? Fucking burning my ears. Alright everybody, so we're back in the office and we are going to finish the video here because that noise of that generator absolutely sends me mad when we're blowing tyres up. And what I'm going to discuss to you today, with you today even, is if you should have your own tyre fitter or if you should train one of your lads in your yard to be a tyre fitter. And I'm going to show you the different options for making your tyre repairs and changing tyres. And to be honest with you, it is not that difficult to do. All you need is basically two tyre levers, two big tyre levers. Worst case scenario, a big, long, strong arm with a socket on it that fits whatever. Basically, wheel nut size you're taking off, transits, 19s, 21s, you know, stuff like that. Your big trucks, they'll have a different size nut, but listen, pretty straightforward. If you've got 2 or 3 lorries, you don't need to be spending thousands and thousands. What I'll tell you is with truck tyres, what you can do is if you speak to anybody who exports truck tyres in your area, so there'll be somebody close by who does exporting of trucks. If you ring them up and just say, if you get any decent tyres, we'll swap them for some old ones. The export trucks, they're not bothered. Usually they take the tyres off sometimes and they'll send the truck without it. So if you speak to any exporter, usually them guys will have a lot of spare tyres. Or go to a tyre fitter, speak to a tyre fitter. He'll give you a thing called the runner, which is a tyre that they call a runner, so it might have had a repair done to it or whatever. The big companies, the big nationals, you know, people who run, I don't know, fuel companies and stuff like that, they won't even repair a tyre, some of them. They just, as soon as it gets a puncture, you put a new one on. So that can be handy for you to save a couple of quid. So anyway, that gives you some ideas where you can go and get a tyre. So let's discuss quickly. I've got some footage of some tyres being changed and different stuff like that. So let's discuss, well, I'll discuss and you'll listen, basically how you change a tyre. So the first thing we'll look at is a transit tyre. So this is how you change a transit tyre with just your standard tyre machine. It has a bead splitter, that's that thing on the side there. That's a bead splitter. It basically pushes the tyre off the rim. That's the top and bottom of that. Nice and simple. Goes onto the top of the machine and underneath there's some claws. They go outwards like that, holds the tyre in place. The top comes down. You put a tyre lever in, fold it over. We've got one of these machines. Real handy for doing transits and small tyres up to 24 inch I think you can go to with a tyre machine. A tyre machine will cost you probably £1,000. That's it. So if you've got plenty of little vans, these are worth having. That is for sure. And here we go. We are looking at the man, the hardcore man, who wants to do one by hand. So basically, instead of a bead splitter, what you do is you get an hammer and you hammer the side of the rim down. Pretty straightforward. There's not a lot to it. You smash it down until the tyre falls off the rim. So the tyre's like that on the rim and it falls off. Pretty simple. You put some soapy water on the outside. You're smashing it down. As it goes down, a bit of soap gets into that crack and it makes the tyre pretty easy to just slide down and makes it a lot easier to move. Once the tyre's down, you get a tyre lever, smash it down the back of it, pretty hard. You can be rough with these tyres, and then you cross one lever over, use this one and use that one as a lever and pop the tyre off. Pretty simple really. It is hard work and you could do with getting a lad to practice on some tyres, but it's not difficult at all. I'll tell you now, you can buy all the parts to do this, in all the tools, for less than £100 I would have thought. So we'll look at a truck tyre being changed in a couple of seconds, but I want to talk to you about what stuff you need. So if you have a lot of punches, we have a lot of punches. We're going building sites and all that all day long. Nails through tyres, they drive over a pallet and half the pallet gets stuck between the tyres. You know, a tyre fitter, and by the way, I'm not trying to take any money away from tyre fitting companies because it is an hard job that basically nobody would want. It's wet, it's mucky, you know, it's as hard as the skip industry. It's harder. You've got to be pretty big, a big person to do tyres all day, every day, because it is mega, you know, difficult back-breaking work carrying a tyre on a rim, especially a truck rim, 22.5, you know, big massive things. The tyres, you know, the rubber's this thick and all that lot. It is definitely a difficult job. So what are you going to need to be a tyre fitter? So let's just look at it before we watch the video of a truck tyre being done, and then we're going to look at the type of repairs you can do. Let's talk about what you will need. You want 2 tyre levers. You want 2 about this length, you know, about 4 or 5 foot, something like that, small stuff, just to get in sometimes to crack the bead. And then you want some big 6-foot monster ones, 6-7 foot. They can't really be too big, and they're just perfect for knocking the edge off and folding them over. A tyre arm usually looks like this, and it has like a little pin, like something like that. So when you slide it down, it hits the bead of the tyre like that, stops there, and then you fold it like that up and over, and it pops the tyre off the rim, as you've just seen in that video. Pretty straightforward. So what's it going to cost you for a couple of tyre levers? We use a sledgehammer to do the bead. We just spray it with a bit of soapy water. We get a sledgehammer and literally just work our way around the tyre. That's, you know, there's not a lot more to it than that. You can do it. A lot of the tyres, when they go flat, they come off the rim anyway, so you can repair a puncture quite easy. So these tyres then. So you need a couple of tyre levers, you need a sledgehammer, and you need sometimes a little V of metal. You can put a little V of metal into the tyre, between the rim and the tyre, and smash it down if it's difficult to get off. The actual parts you need to repair a tyre, which I'm going to talk about later in this video, you have a string, you know, mushroom, different things that go in the tyre, and I'll show you exactly what they are. But let's just watch our truck fitter can change a tyre in less than a couple of minutes. So you can tell this lad, he knows his job. Quickly gets the tyre off, no problem. Get it over, get it on the floor, get it ready. And like I said to you, sledgehammer, smash around the outside of the tyre, knock it down, and then get yourself a set of tyre levers and give it a good harding. And then we grease up the tyre with a bit of oil and everything. Just helps it slide off and makes it not so much of an absolute nightmare to do. The man's got his new tyre here. Bit of glue, bit of soap even, around the inside of the tyre. And again, you just force it on with the tyre levers and basically blow in a bit of air into it. And it just takes him 2 or 3 minutes to chuck that back on. So just imagine what you could save, especially if you're getting your tyres cheap. So now we're going to talk about the different types of fixings that you can use on your tyre. So basically you have a string, which is you've got the wall of the tyre like that. You use a tool, you pop an hole in the tyre, and then you force a piece of, I think it's leather, with a glue on it, into the tyre and push it in and then pull it out. That's a quick repair. I'm not sure on the laws with repairs on tyres. We just use the proper permanent mushroom, which is literally, it looks like a mushroom. It's a stick like that and a flat plate on the bottom. You glue this plate, push it through the hole of the tyre, pull it out, and that is a permanent repair. That is what most people would use on a normal tyre and all the other stuff. So let's watch a couple of videos of what these are like, how you do them, and then as we go through the video, I'll tell you the pluses and the negatives as we go through. I'm sure you lot have watched plenty of these videos before with these, or you've even used them yourself, but people who don't know. So let's watch it. Basically, we degrease the area, get any muck and crap off it. We scrape the surface because glue does not stick to two smooth surfaces will not stick. The glue needs to get into the pores, into any holes, and that's what holds it. So we sand it down, we rough it up, and that is literally for the glue to stick to the surface. We then sandpaper it because you don't want a surface that's too rough. And then this is a vulcanizing glue, which basically means you put it on and it will form a skin on the top, and the underneath is really, really sticky. There's blue glue, black glue, different ones. This is the mushroom. We push the mushroom in the hole, we pull it out on the other side with a pair of pliers, and that is a permanent fix. We are just pushing out the air now, so we take the air out of it, and then we're going to put a vulcanizing rubber over the top of it, which is just a thick, basically like a silicone, really. Polyurethane. It's not rubber. Looks like rubber, but it's not. It's just a liquid silicone, if you like. That's basically the top and bottom, and that is classed as a proper permanent repair. Okay, so now we are looking at the dreaded tyre string. Anybody knows these are a quick and easy repair. Take your nail out, clean the hole, you ream it out. So that little tool he's using is called a reamer, which basically makes the inside of the hole rough. So like I said to you, the glue will not just stick to nothing. So he's making the inside of the hole nice and rough. And then that's a piece of leather, bit of glue on it. The inside of the hole is rough from the way that he scratched it with that. Pulls it out, and in that goes and folds in half. You have a look there, that will give you a good idea how they work. And then this is an inside view. So that is quite a simple thing really, just blocking an hole. The only problem is with it, there's no permanent fix on the inside. I think if you've got a lorry on a motorway, if you need a 5-minute fix to get it across the yard, or you know, something like that, I'm not actually sure if this would be the perfect way and the perfect thing to use. You would have to check the laws and stuff around tyres. We use mushrooms because that's like a permanent way of doing it. But this is a quick and easy way, you know, especially if you've got a, like I say, if you've got a stupid drive or any drives of a summer, you know, big in the yard, you can put 2 of these little screws together and you can obviously make it across your yard and get moved. And the other thing is, it's really, really quick and easy because you don't have a physical tyre to take off. You can do this while the tyre is still on the car, which is, sorry, not on the car, on the lorry. So it's very easy. A lot of plant fitters use these strings, you know, off-road and things like that. They are quite handy little bits of kit to have. Okay, so let's finish the video and I will give you my take on it. So we have a tyre fitter here. I think if you've got more than 3 or 4 lorries, or you've got a bit of time spare, you know, each week, it is definitely worth having your own guy who can do tyres. What we do here is a spare day where we're not real busy, or a Saturday morning. What we'll do is we'll get some transits, if it's a transit for instance, and we will build up some rims. We just call it building up rims. We're going to put a tyre on, we're going to check it for punctures or anything else if it's a second hand one, and we'll check it, put it on a rim, and it'll sit in the yard, and we end up with a stack of 5 or 6 tyres just waiting. So your driver will ring you up, you know the type of people. I'm not going to go into it. I've driven over a brick as if you can't hear it. It goes bang, 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 bang every time the wheel goes around. He's ignored it and he's put an hole in 2 tyres. You go out with a jack, you jack it up. You don't need a compressor, you don't need anything. You just go out onto site and you just swap the wheel. The good thing with a skip truck is you can use your back legs and you can actually lift one side of the truck up. So if you get a puncture on the back, you don't need to jack it up. That saves a lot of time. So most of your tyres, you have a drive and a steer on a skip truck and an 8-wheeler. So your drive tyre has a different pattern to your steering tyre. It's the way it pushes water away and stuff like that. So in theory, you could buy yourself 5 or 6 rims, which are only 20-30 quid second hand. Get yourself a few cheap rims and put a couple of tyres on. So if you had two drive tyres for your back axle on your skip truck, for instance, or your transit, you get 2 tyres ready, because at the worst case scenario, you're only ever going to knacker 2 tyres at once. You don't very rarely go for 3. You know, you'd have to have some bad luck. But, you know, you can easily do that. Buy yourself a set of tyre levers, buy yourself a big strong arm and a few sockets, and you can actually go out and change your tyres. And, you know, it can save you a fortune. It really can save you money. Like I said earlier in the video, if you go to people who export trucks and things like that, they'll sometimes take off tyres that they're not using, that are not going abroad. Sometimes they don't send the tyres. I don't know why the reason is for that, but there may be some laws against it. But I'm sure it's to do with, if you send a vehicle, a lot of these exporters, they take the engine out, take the chassis, strip them apart, put them in a container with no wheels or tyres, just the rims. Sorry, yeah, just the rim. And then when it gets there, they put it back together, and it's different export duties and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the law is, but I do know there's a few exporters in my area, and they always have plenty of tyres to get rid of. Your transit tyres and your small vans, just literally ring up anybody who picks scrap cars up and stuff like that, and just ring them, tell them the tyre size, and they'll bring you all the part worn ones. Pretty simple. Or go to your local garage and just say, right, what part worn tyres you got for that size, and just buy the lot of them. A new transit tyre, 30 quid plus VAT, 34 quid if you're buying 10 or 15 tyres locally to us. So if you want to know where they come from, ring me. It's all free delivery with them as well if you get 20 tyres. And a truck tyre nowadays is between 150 for a bottom end, you know, dog shit thing, up to 300-400 quid even for a really good quality tyre. So anyway, you've got to make your own decision. Is it worth getting a tyre machine? A tyre machine you can get for a couple £100 off Facebook Marketplace for your small tyres if you're running a lot of small vans, you know, and then a couple of lads in the yard who can, big lads, you need a lad who's got a bit of size on him, throw a big tyre around, you know, so it's got some mileage to it. So anyway, I'm doing it. We have a tyre fitter who does all the emergency stuff, you know, and we have another tyre fitter who comes in and does a bit of work for us as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. And it's absolutely terrible weather, raining all day. We've had, you know, 12 hours of rain today. So the skip job's on its ass, but it is what it is. I've got a little drainage job to do. My shredder's broke down. Everything's going wrong. But, you know, you've got to keep positive, haven't you? Got to keep, you know, tomorrow's another day and we'll have another go. Right, see you all soon. I hope you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to click the like button if you enjoyed it. See you soon.